Thank you, Ceann Comhairle. Taoiseach, one of the areas that has escaped any significant attention in the fallout from the budget has been the very savage and targeted approach to colleges of further education in terms of an attack on their pupil-teacher ratio and in the reduction of a variety of allowances to students attending colleges of further education. The 2-point increase in the pupil-teacher ratio for these colleges will have a savage impact on the colleges and their students, leading to the loss of 200 whole-time equivalent posts, but in reality on the ground about up to 500 teachers could lose their positions, many of them part-time in colleges across the country doing specialist courses in cloud computing, horticulture, sound, music, dance, right across the board. All courses that are related to employment and particularly progressing young people from unemployment to employment. And Taoiseach, if you'd care to listen, you would know that at a very high unemployment rate among young people of 30%, this cut makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And it is targeting second chance education. People who want to go back to education to get a chance of work or to progress on to third level. And what is absolutely shameful, Taoiseach, that in addition to the pupil-teacher ratio increase, the budget will also reduce capitation rates for the colleges and will reduce allowances for people on vocational training opportunity schemes and also on youth reach programmes. These are the very programmes that were designed to help young people to come through the education sector through alternative programmes and alternative pathways. And you've also abolished the cost of education allowance. Now, Taoiseach, I know that the Fine Gael party will always protect the wealthy. But again, the fundamental question has to be asked. What is the Labour Party now for in government? If the Labour Party can stand over a cut to a sector, a cut to a sector that does the most for those who lost out through mainstream education and who want a second chance. And I would say this, Taoiseach, we built up this sector over the last 10 to 15 years. Yes, we did. Absolutely built it up. In terms of grants for colleges and so on like that, and for the students.
Thank you.
And Marcia, you may smile. It's not a laughing matter, Minister Howland. It's not a laughing matter, Minister Howland. It's not a laughing matter. It's not a laughing matter for the students who are watching this morning.
Thank you.
Most you can think about it in terms of the pride that they now find themselves in. And it's typical of how out of touch you have become. I want to ask you, Taoiseach, will you outline to the House, Taoiseach, whether an impact assessment was carried out in relation to the impact of the increase in the pupil-teacher ratio on these colleges and the cuts on these students who are participating on those programmes? If so, will you publish that impact? And if not, will you commit at the very minimum this morning to have such an impact assessment carried out?
Your charge of saying that particular parties look after particular sectors is nothing short of disgraceful, Deputy Martin. Nothing short of disgraceful. Now, the change in the PTR announced here by the Minister for the Budget from 17 to 1 to 19 to 1 takes effect next September. The Minister has already indicated to every VEC and CEO to carry out an impact analysis on what this is going to mean in terms of courses and to report to him. And of course that will be debated fully here in the Dáil and in the Oireachtas. This sector is being maintained. It is an important element of education. The answer to your question is yes. The impact analysis has been requested by the Minister from each CEO and will be reported to him and debated in the House subsequently.
Thank you, Deputy Martin.
Not yes. You've just answered that he didn't do an impact assessment before he made the cut. You've just now said that he's going to ask all of the colleges or the VECs. Now, the bottom line is that the principal of Ballyfermot Senior College was on last evening saying 10% of her staff will be cut. Now, Ballyfermot Senior College is a fantastic college that has produced students that have gone all the way to Hollywood in terms of Oscar awards, in terms of animation. Because this sector has been the most innovative of them all in responding to the crisis. And likewise in Coláiste Stefan Nafa in Cork, for example, they're going to lose up to, and the City of Cork VC already are saying they will lose up to 50 teachers as a result of this particular cut. And so what is disgraceful, Taoiseach, is not the fact that I've highlighted this issue this morning, which you were suggesting I have, that's a disgrace that I highlighted, and point out that the Labour Party, which should be protecting the less well-off and those who want to avail of second level education, should be doing something or standing up for something. That's quite a legitimate point for me to make. But what is not legitimate, Taoiseach, is for deputies to be laughing and guffawing about a very serious cut on students, which will make a difference to their capacity to get to work and to progress in education. And we have numerous examples of students down through the years who may not have come through mainstream education effectively, or indeed went to third level, but these particular courses were labour market related. They were focused on jobs and giving people skills and the capacity to gain jobs in a whole range of areas, and have been very effective and successful. It's another unfair targeting of a sector of society who should be helped and assisted in accordance with the commitments in the programme for government, and not targeted in a very savage way, as you have done, without any thought or any preparation, as you've now just acknowledged.
Taoiseach. You never listened, Deputy Martin. But I said that your comment is disgraceful to sectorise any party as looking after a particular segment of Irish society. The party that you lead yourself, from the days of your Galway tent with the millionaires and all the rest of it, you should. That's the comment that I say, Deputy Martin, was disgraceful. It's disgraceful for you to say that comment. Now let's deal with the issue here. The pupil-teacher ratio in secondary schools is 19 to 1. The pupil-teacher ratio in colleges of further education was 17 to 1 and will be 19 to 1 from next September. The issue of devolution of responsibility and authority has been made by this minister to the chief executive officers to make the choices, the nature of the courses, the quality of the courses to be pursued. So the impact, Deputy Martin, the impact of the decision made by the minister is to bring the pupil-teacher ratio of colleges of further education into line with those of secondary schools. And as a former teacher yourself, you will know this, that it's not actually, Deputy Martin, the pupil-teacher ratio that makes the real difference here. It is the quality of the person standing in front of the class. You can produce reports the height of this roof that will show you, but you don't ever listen, Deputy Martin, and that's what has you where you are. And the reason that the most important ingredient of education is parental interest, student interest, and the quality of the teacher and the teaching that's given in the first place. And that's why Minister Quinn has given the devolved responsibility to chief executives officers to make the choices of courses, the nature of courses and all that. And that will be all brought back to him in what has now become regularised, that the PTR in colleges of further education will be the same as applies in secondary schools. This sector is maintained, is important, but then you never listen, do you?
Thank you.